Gooch. Who got the hooch?
MVP.
It's one in the air, left center field, back it goes. Harper, the swing of his life.
You never get ahead of yourself. As
I know Randy's do every day. It's always been that way for me. Always been a get better mentality every day, grow every day, be a better leader every day, be a better quarterback every day. And when that wrench do, I don't plan on missing no payments. So.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 3 in the Keystone, episode 92. Full squad in the building tonight. Al Ryan, Chris Guest, and myself, Adam Seltzer. Gents, the rain has gone away. We had a beautiful day in the Delaware Valley. Spring has sprung. A lot of good things on the horizon. I do want to do some cleanup before we get into tonight's first dedication, I guess, or we get to our dedication still. But we will be moving to our summer schedule. Chris, I believe next week, correct?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Not this coming week, the following week. So
we're going to do it next week because the Sixers may have a playing game on Tuesday. So let's just put that on the calendar already.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're going to move to our summer schedule, which, if you guys remember, we will be recording on Monday nights instead of Tuesday throughout the summer. That will start next week. So join us live in the chat on Monday, same time, same station. 92 boys.
Head to head with Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you're going to have some issues here. Good thing
We already dominated AEW in the time slot. Now we got to go dominate Raw.
92 boys. It's a no-brainer if you're a Philly guy. I didn't even do any research.
Reggie.
You got to go to the Minister of Defense. You got to
no reason to mention any other names this week.
There's no reason to at all.
Out of respect for Reggie, I don't think there really are any other names anyway for that number.
No.
Chris, I want to give you the floor before we jump into segment one. Our wrestling segment last week was such a hit. I know you were pumped for WrestleMania. Give us a 2-minute review. I know it's hard for you to go 2 minutes, but give me 2 minutes of review.
I mentioned you guys in the group chat. I mean, there was a lot of speculation with the company and things like that based on the card for both nights that it had potential to be the best ever, and they delivered it. The ending, I think, was the best ending for really not only any WrestleMania, but really any pay-per-view period. I was at the Undertaker one-man show last Thursday, and he literally hated on Cody Rhodes and was all like doing the finish the story thing. And he was like telling something and somebody would laugh or yell something out. And he'd be like, no, guys, wait, I got to finish my story. And the crowd ate it up. They ate it up. And lo and behold, 3 nights later, he'd be helping Cody. So he knew what he was doing, playing in the crowd. He's the ultimate company man, Mark Calloway. But it was a great show. Like I said, great ending. I am envious that that ending was worth the money to pay for your ticket. I will say, as people who have gone to Seltzer and I with going to an event, a premium live event in a stadium setting, if you are not close or in a specific area, it is tough at times because a lot of people in front of you on flat surface if you're on the floor. And also, if you're in the stands, the lighting can be an issue, and the stage or setting, I guess you could say, can be protruding at times. But the energy and the atmosphere there was awesome. I had a couple students that I had that went, and they said it was fantastic. Not that they're their bar is already high as it is because that's all they really know anyway. But they said they had a great time. It was great. I mean, it was awesome, and from what they said, metrics wise, highest amount of participation tickets sold for a WrestleMania ever. Last night's
2 minutes, guest. 2 minutes.
Drop that beat.
You didn't stop me. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, there was a cap on you.
Well, because you know what? I'm giving WWE their flowers. All right,
and
I'm giving our city the flowers.
Yeah, that's all they've been getting is flowers.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm adding on to that.
I did want to segue from one thing you were talking about the tickets. If you are getting tickets for WrestleMania or any other event, make sure you're using SeatGeek and the code 3Keystone for $20 off your first purchase. We had a lot of things around the quarter. We mentioned a potential play-in game for the Sixers. We got the Phillies coming up, all sorts of events. $20 is sitting there for you. Go and take it. It's right in front of your face.
Yeah, you know, with some of these early season Phillies games, people don't want to go in the cold weather. You can go for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The other night in the Red Series, they were selling for extremely cheap. And sit wherever you want. So make sure you're using the code 3Keystone if you're using SeatGeek. All right, gents, let's jump into segment one.
Before we do, Adam, I want to give the quick shout out to the top 5 in the I think it I don't even remember what year. I think 12th annual, I want to say. Ball Don't Lie, March Madness bracket pool thing. So we have winners. UConn, they repeat. They're going to go down in history as one of the best of all time. Guys, watching that game, I'm at the point where I'm ready to put them over that Florida team. They were dominant.
Yeah, they've dominated the whole tournament.
Yeah.
They were dominant. And Edey came out of the chute playing his ass off, and it didn't seem to matter because UConn just had too many weapons. So the top 5 this year, starting with number 5, we have Andrew Radcliffe. Number 4, we had Brian Pickett. Number 3, in what has to be my finest achievement as a gambler, coming in 3rd place this year after winning it all last year, it's none other than me.
Me.
Number 2, we have Ross DeBono. And at number 1, a coworker of mine, a counselor extraordinaire. Guess you know how much of a hard job those counselors, especially at the middle school level, have. Is one Diana Zarowski. However, I do have it on good terms that it was actually her 10-year-old son. So I want to shout out Mason Zarowski, who picked that bracket with 47 correct choices and 334 points overall. Mason's going to get a pack of baseball cards and a new fishing rod, from what I understand. So congratulations to Mason.
Good for him. Good for him.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Setting him up for a future of gambling success, hopefully.
We'll have them all next year.
Yeah, gambling, once again, bringing families closer together.
All right, gents, we talked Phillies last week. We also talked some Eagles. It's time to put a recap, I guess, on the Sixers season and kind of go through some scenarios before the playoffs start next week. So as we were, willing to write them off, the Sixers do what they always do, and they reel you right back in. They've now won 5 in a row. It'll be 6 as they have a 20-point lead here with 8 minutes to go against the Pistons. Joel Embiid has returned, and hope is alive for this team. Chris, I want to give you your flowers after you gave them to WrestleMania. 2 weeks ago on the pod, we had 10 games left, and I had you pick all of them. And to this point, you've hit every single game.
Woo!
And
I didn't realize
you also picked the game that Joel was going to come back, the Oklahoma City game. So all they need to do now would be you did have a loss on the last game against Brooklyn.
I got the script, brother. I got the script. Came in the mail.
All right, but let's break down where we're at. So like I said, they've won 5 in a row, including a couple good wins, Miami and San Antonio. I don't know if you guys got to watch the San Antonio game at all, but I wanted to give a couple shots. First of all, Tyrese Maxey, obviously, with the 50-plus points again, just carrying the team on the load. But Nick Batum with a couple really big shots at the end of the game, a couple really good inbound passes was great. Ricky Council came in the fourth quarter in overtime and really gave him a spark. Made a pass that on the baseline with a left hand to hit Nick Batum. And I thought Nick Nurse coached a really, really good game, again, drawing up some great plays at the end. That game was a little bit of a trap game because, you have the back-to-back. It's a team that's not good on paper, but Wembanyama the last month has been a top 5-6 player in the entire league. So when you're playing without Joel Embiid, it is what it is. So I thought that was a really good win. But overall, they're at 44-35. They'll be 45-35 after tonight with 3 games left I have here, but it'll be 2. They're the 7th seed. They're 1 game out behind Indiana. And the last 3 games, as I mentioned, are Detroit tonight, which they'll win. Then they have Orlando at home and Brooklyn at home to close it out. Before we want to break down the scenarios, I just want to get your guys' overall observations and your feelings now that Joel is back and they've started to win some games on where you are with this group. Let's start, Chris. You've been hitting the nail on the head, so let's start with you.
I mean, it's what I expected to happen, obviously. And I think ultimately, I still think they're going to find a way to get the 6th seed. I do. And that's kind of where I want to be. Now, I know we'll get to that later on, but I mean, he's the man. By the way, that Spurs game, I was watching back and forth between that and WrestleMania. That's a game of the year candidate, is it not? Like, that was a fantastic game. Not necessarily for the league. I'm saying as far as for the Sixers this year. That was definitely a game of the year candidate. And with the power, the star power we had with Maxey and Wembanyama. So Pop had Wembanyama on Maxey. I don't know if he was on them all game because I didn't watch it start to finish. But from what I did see from the end of the third towards the overtime periods, they had times where they had Wembanyama on Maxey, and Wembanyama could not stay in front of him.
No.
Now, obviously, he has like a 12-foot wingspan, so he doesn't have to stay in front of him. But Maxey was so fast that he actually got past the wingspan even. So he got past the guy and the wingspan, which is tough for a guy like Wembanyama at that point. So Maxey's just kind of – the one thing I will say is, and I saw watching the game tonight and the box score, I've been going back and forth between the Phillies and the Sixers. Tobias Harris is a joke. All right. You cannot depend on him, rely on him at all. They've played better. Now, tonight, you can't really say that because of the fact that the Pistons are not a good team. But I would argue that they're a better team with Tobias Harris not in that starting lineup.
Let's save that for a little bit later in the segment.
Okay.
I have some additional things on there.
Okay.
I do have some breaking news before Al goes here. As I kind of scroll through Twitter here, Giannis Antetokounmpo down with a non-contact injury.
Oh.
I'm watching the video. It looks like potentially a calf, I would say. But that's obviously big-time news and may change Al's opinion on how optimistic he is on the Sixers now.
Well, I'm more optimistic now than I've been all season. And how can I not be? Save for when Embiid was on his tear of throwing up numbers that we haven't seen since Wilt. He just commands so much attention when he's on the floor. Guys have to constantly be cheating over to potentially double team him, regardless of if he's in the paint or 20 feet from the basket. I didn't get to see that much of the San Antonio game because I was so dialed into WrestleMania. But I did see some of that Miami.
That guy's from the old regime, by the way.
Miami, I don't know regime's guest, all right? But Miami at some points were triple teaming Joel, and it wasn't enough to stop him. And then you had Maxey, you had Oubre, you had Batum, you even had Tobias Harris getting open and knocking down shots. And then we've got to see Embiid as the facilitator again, which we saw a lot of at the beginning of this season. And we were praising Nick Nurse for the way he was using Embiid in that role. Look, he just makes the game easier for everyone around him, except for maybe Buddy Hield, who just he absolutely stinks.
They're not paying him.
He's awful.
Yeah.
But everybody else, and another guy that we were unsure about, Kyle Lowry, who I had mentioned, I thought stepped right into that Pat Bev role, and he's playing it way better because he has a much higher basketball IQ than Pat Bev. He's a lot less of a guy that's going to let his emotions take over. He's just going to play sound basketball, make the smart play, set the screen when he needs to, that kind of stuff, get dirty. So, look, I'm optimistic right now, and I know we're going to talk about potentially, a little bit going forward what we want to see as far as seeding and potential playoff matchups. And with what Adam just said, as far as the breaking news with Giannis, I have some thoughts on that I think might be a little controversial as far as where I want to see them seed.
All right. Also, we didn't mention D'Anthony Melton came back tonight and has looked pretty good. So anything they can get from him, you mentioned the Hield play has been disappointing. If they can get Melton back to take any sort of minutes from Buddy Hield at this point, even if it's a 12 minutes playoff game from Melton at this point, anything they can get would be an upgrade.
I'll just throw a quick hot take in here, especially with Melton coming back. I don't know how much minutes Buddy's going to get in the playoffs.
I was thinking about this earlier.
Nick Nurse has been there. He does not play around.
He doesn't like Buddy.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would not be surprised if you do not see much of him, if any, in the postseason.
So here's what I was thinking, and I want to do a full playoff preview next week before we get into it. But realistically, between the two guards, there's 96 minutes of action between 48 minutes for the two guard spots. Tyrese Maxey's playing 40 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with what I say it was 96, 56 minutes, right?
Yep.
Kyle Lowry probably is playing 28, right? Maybe a couple more in some games, but so that leaves you with 28 minutes that you have the split between Melton, Heald, and Payne, which I think is fine. You know, if DeAnthony can give you 16, and then you figure out the last 12 minutes between those other two guys.
I mean, they also could put Buddy if they wanted to go small. They could put him at a 3 spot if they really wanted to. But
I don't think they do.
I don't think they want to play him. Period.
Why not?
I don't think, let alone at the 3. I don't think they really want to play him that much. What they've done with him, what Nick's done with him in his rotation, tells me that they have no interest in keeping him at this point. I think that they've tried it. They don't like it. Now, someone that would be a supporter of Buddy could say, well, now that Joel's back, they could see how they look with the, different looks and having him be, take a defender into the paint with him and then dish out to Buddy and have an open shot. But he's slow.
Yeah,
He's not quick at all. Like his dribble is slow. His everything is slow with him, man. And I'm really disappointed with that. I thought he'd be better than he is. But I will say on the opposite of that, Kyle Lowry's been even better than I thought he would be. I did not think, you guys know I'm not a big Lowry guy. I'm not a Lowry guy, period. All right. But I got to give him his credit. He has been really good. I did mention, I put my pride aside a few weeks ago when we had the original show when we first got him, and I said I think he should start with Maxey, and that has paid off. But it's even more so than I thought it would. I mean, he's over. Like, I'm willing to give him another deal next year.
He's just so smart.
Yeah, I'm willing to give him one more year. I mean, he'll be 30, he'll be 39, but he doesn't look like he fell off a cliff. Like,
and I think he would take a minimum. Like, I don't think you're paying top dollar for Kyle Lowry.
No, I think that's his market at this point. I think he would take that, and I would be willing to offer it to him.
And the coach trusts him, which is, I mean, that was his guy in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so I want to play a little game with you guys. I thought it would be cool to, break down the playoff picture because the East is really clustered up here. Let's first and foremost, the Sixers have to win out. If the Sixers don't win out, all this is null and void at this point. So we're working under the assumption that the Sixers do win out. So I want to just run through the teams that they're fighting near, and I have their schedules here. And I think we can just go through and say whether or not we think it's a viable option for us to pass them. Okay? So the Sixers, again, have 35 losses. The Miami Heat are a half game behind the Sixers. They also have 35 losses. So here's the Miami schedule the rest of the way. And they would need to lose one game for the Sixers to pass them. At Atlanta tonight, the Heat are up, I believe, 10. Then they play on a back-to-back against Dallas tomorrow at home. And then they finish out with 2 games at home against Toronto. So do you see Miami losing one of those? I guess it's 3 games at this point.
Dallas is at home, you said?
They play at Dallas game is at home, but it's tomorrow night. It's on a back-to-back for Miami.
That's the win, right? That's the one right there.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's
Toronto's not doing anything for anybody. So
I would agree with that.
And Dallas isn't bad on the road. They're 23-15 on the road. So that's
really good, actually.
And Atlanta has come back. It's actually 82-80 right now in the fourth quarter. So they do have that.
I was going to say, I think, and Atlanta plays them pretty tough from historically speaking. So that game, anything can happen still. But I think Dallas, if they get through this game tonight, Dallas is the one to get.
I would agree with that. Okay, let's go to the Indiana Pacers, who have 34 losses, but they do hold the tiebreaker over the Sixers. So they would need to lose 2 of these 3. They have 1 tonight. They did end up pulling away from Toronto. Then they have 2 games left at Cleveland and Atlanta at home. I don't see that happening, them losing both of those games.
No.
Well, Cleveland, I think, is a loss because Cleveland is going to be in a dogfight for their own positioning still.
Right, but then they have Atlanta at home. I don't see them losing both of those games.
Right.
And Atlanta might be packing it in at that point. If they can't move up to catch the Bulls, the 9 seed, they can't fall out of the 10.
Right. And then even if that, they still would have to beat or lose to Cleveland, which, again, I agree, Chris, they're playing for their lives, but they're kind of free-falling as well. Yeah. All right, so Indiana, we're marking that down as that's not going to happen.
Right.
Now we have Cleveland. Cleveland has 33 losses, but so that they would have to lose 2 games out of these 3. They have Memphis at home, which probably is a win. Then they have Indiana at home and Charlotte at home. I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, they're not
No.
losing two.
So we're not getting past them. Now we have two more teams I have here. I have New York. They have 32 losses, but they hold the tiebreaker over the Sixers. So they would have to lose all 4 of these games. And they have at Chicago tonight, at Boston, Brooklyn at home on a back-to-back, and then Chicago at home. I don't see them losing all 4 of those.
No.
Okay.
There's a clear ceiling for what we can
And that's a shame for the Knicks that Randall's out. That's a shame.
Yeah. So there's one left.
They're getting a little burned out too, Al. That Thibodeau
They are.
style is coming. It's reaping its ugly head again, rearing its ugly head again. Where they're getting a little tired.
Speaking
Yeah,
of ugly,
Anunoby back will help, but
speaking
listen,
of ugly heads, let's talk about this last team, Seltzer.
this is the most intriguing one. 32 losses for my Orlando Magic.
You're a scumbag, dude.
You said it. You've been saying it every week.
No, he's a scumbag. My Orlando Magic. Get the hell out of here, dude.
32 losses for the Orlando Magic. They would need to lose 3 games out of their final 4 for the Sixers to pass them. Now, Sixers play them, and we're working under the assumption that the Sixers win out.
Friday
So
night, right?
That's a loss. The other 3 games.
For who? The Magic?
This is the other 3 games left for the Magic. They would have to lose 2 of these 3. At Houston tonight. Houston is up 19 points in the third quarter on the Orlando Magic. And then 2 games against the Milwaukee Bucks. 1 in Milwaukee and 1 at home. Very, very feasible that the Sixers could pass the Orlando Magic.
Here's a hot take for you, Seltzer. The Magic ain't winning a game the rest of the season.
Regular season or playoffs?
Over.
They're getting shut out, huh?
Yeah, they're going to lose out the rest of the year.
They've still had a good season regardless.
It's really interesting what can happen still the rest of this way with them having to play Milwaukee twice and only being a game back of the Bucks from that 2 seed. Anything can still happen here.
Well, now the Giannis injury hurts the Sixers though, because the Sixers are going to need Milwaukee to pull one of those out.
Yeah, I just watched the Giannis injury. I don't know if that's anything or not. We'll see. I mean, when you talk about calves, the first and foremost that you fear is the Achilles, because there are times where people think it's a calf injury and then they get MRIs and X-rays and it's the Achilles is affected. That didn't look like that to me, so I don't know. We'll see. It looked like he could have cramped for all I know. I don't know.
You said it was non-contact. Did his brother Thanasis go over there and start punching the ground? Ripped on or?
But I think the lesson in going through this exercise is even if the Sixers win out, it's going to be very difficult for them to jump up because of the way the schedule looks. And they're going to need not only Orlando, but they're going to need one other team to fall short here in order for them to get out of that play-in and into that 6 seed, which, Al, you made it seem like you don't think it's that important.
I don't, but it really depends on the way this season ends. If Milwaukee can end the season in that 2 seed, I actually think the Sixers might be better served in the 7 spot because I would trust the Sixers to beat Miami in a 1-game playoff at home and then have to play Milwaukee in the first round. Milwaukee looks awful. They look terrible.
They have not been good.
Dude, they've lost their last 4, 6 of their last 7. They are below 500 on the road. Doc is just ripping this team apart from the inside. If you're telling me a dream matchup in the first round, for me, it would be the Milwaukee Bucks. Absolutely, especially if we're rolling into the playoffs where we might have won 8 straight heading in. Dude, give me the Bucks all day. I'll take that play-in game to be able to get the Bucks because I don't want to see the Bucks potentially in a second round where they might have been able to put it together. If we get that 6 seed and we have to play Cleveland.
But what gives you the confidence that they can beat Miami in a 1-game playoff? It is so Sixers to finish the season by winning out, going to Miami, losing that game, getting Boston, and then just getting wiped out. That's so Sixers.
It is so Sixers. I agree with you. But from what they showed me against Miami the other night, again, if Embiid is able to give us 30+ minutes, if Maxey is able to give us, the 20+ points, and Kelly Oubre, we have to talk about Kelly Oubre. He's been a viable, dependable third option in the last 5 games since Embiid's return. We're 5-0, obviously. He's averaging 38 minutes a game. He's shooting 52% from the field, 46% from 3, averaging nearly 24 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists. If he can keep doing that, man, I think we have a really good shot to not only beat Miami, but beat Milwaukee in the first round.
He's been fantastic the second half of the season.
He's been wonderful.
He brings it every single night.
He's thank God he has, because Tobias has been so bad,
terrible,
and Buddy Hield has been so bad that without Oubre and without Lowry, God only knows, we might be down in the 10 seed right now.
Whoa. So you guys ready to give Kelly the bag?
Depends what the price is. No, I'm not saying it's a bag.
I'm not giving him the bag. I don't want history to repeat itself where we give this knucklehead the bag like we gave Tobias the bag just because he's there.
Well, I don't mean a full bag. I mean at least a bag.
A baglet? You want a bag?
Give him a McDonald's bag.
15?
Huh?
What's he get? 15 a year?
Dude, honestly, from his production, you're probably right. But because of who he is, I don't know what his market is. We saw last year he mysteriously averaged 20 a game, mind you, on a bad team, but still 20's 20, and he had no market. So I don't even know what his market's going to be this year.
And I mean, look, we all know that whatever happens in the playoffs is going to be the last taste of what in your mouth of what you saw. So if he flames out in the playoffs, it's going to be a different story. But if he plays well in the playoffs, he's going to end up getting paid. Because that's the knock on Kelly Oubre has been that his game doesn't translate to winning. So it's really going to depend what happens in the playoffs.
And I would say we'll see what happens in the postseason. Also, that market that Daryl, the brilliant mind he is, and I say that sarcastically, envisioned for the free agency is dwindled down. So it's watered down big time now. I don't even know who's out there that's worth using that money on at this point in time. So you might find yourself, if you're him, building a team, getting a few of those guys with the money we have freed up versus getting one or two. Because I'll tell you right now, the Paul George move ain't it.
I've said many times, I think it's going to be a trade. I think it might be like a Donovan Mitchell move.
And I could see that too.
Or something.
I could see that too. And I've been going back and forth on thinking if I would like Mitchell with Maxey. But the more I think about it, if you can get offense, you got to go for it. I mean, defensively, I think you might.
I'll tell you a free agent, and we're getting way off base here. A free agent that I really, really would like to pick up, who was having a great year before getting hurt. Malik Monk would be fantastic for the Sixers.
I think he'd be a good role for what we thought or envisioned Buddy to have.
Yeah. Except he can do so much more on the ball.
Right. And he's more athletic. He's a Philly kind of guy. Yeah. Really emotional player, which in a good way, I think. I agree with you with that.
All right. I want to wrap segment 1 with one question to you guys here. What's one thing that you would love to give the Sixers in order to help them move forward in the playoffs? It's a wish list. It's a top of the item thing. So I'm going to give you mine to start. I'm going to say a Tobias Harris injury. That would be what I would give the Sixers.
You know what?
In order to help them.
Like I said, you're a scumbag.
The bag, give him the body bag.
Listen,
you're being a scum. You're wishing an injury on the guy.
This team is better. They're better without him. And the best 5 on this group is Lowry, Maxey, Oubre, Batum, Embiid. Those are the best 5. Because you have your 2 scorers in Embiid and Maxey. You have Oubre as the X factor, the guy who can get to the rim and do the athletic things. And then you've got 2 guys who are high IQ players, both defend, and are really good passers. When Tobias gets the ball, when they swing him the ball, it's like his brain is churning and he's pump faking and everything stops. When Lowry and Oubre get the ball, it's out of their hands or it's going up. They don't hold the ball. That's what this team needs. And Tobias Harris is, I've always been a defender of him. If you listen to past podcasts, his effort on the defensive end this year has been extinct. He doesn't move his feet at all. He shies away from contact. He doesn't rebound enough. He's been a complete disaster in his final year. And I'm curious to see what his free agency contract is going to look like, because that's going to be a hell of a case.
He's obviously done with this franchise just the same way we're done with him. It's obvious.
But he's playing for a contract. Like, he should be playing harder.
But I think that whether it's him or his agent, somebody knows that the Sixers are letting him walk. So I think that he's not – I don't think he's invested in the Sixers. But, Seltzer, to your point, you're still playing for an audition for other teams.
Right.
And he has not shown that he's worth a damn for a legit team. But he know that bag is coming from Detroit. He know that. So
He's already sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars that we gave him.
yeah, Detroit's all in on Tobias. I would be shocked if that's not where he went. But I will say this. I ain't wishing an injury on anybody, but I do Seltzer, to your point, I do hope that Nick Nurse realizes they are better without him and just puts him as a bench guy. Maybe in the playoffs against a couple bench unit guys, he'll be a little bit more productive for us. But I agree. I think this offense clicks a lot more. Batum is a better shooter than he is. And Batum's had a nice year defensively.
Yeah, he's better than Tobias, no question.
Yeah, he's had a nice year defensively. Tobias historically has been done well in the postseason defensively. He's done a good job. But
yeah, he had in past years, but this year is doesn't look like he can move.
We can't expect him to do anything at this point based on how he's played this year so far.
Let me ask you this: who would you rather see on the floor in the playoffs if you had to put one of these guys out there, Tobias or Rocco?
Like current Rocco that can't move?
Yeah,
he said he's close. He said
he ain't close. Like you got to scratch him. He's done. Like
he's close.
Tobias or Ricky Council?
Ricky Council.
Ricky Council's not playoff eligible unless they sign him to a full-term deal. He's still on a two-way.
Oh yeah, that is true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
All right.
But so I like Ricky. Ricky's got a dog in him. I like Ricky.
Listen, I like Ricky, but the playoffs is a little different. I'd still probably take Tobias, but
well, we know what Tobias is in the postseason.
I know, but
you
Ricky,
just wished injury upon him.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
I like Ricky more, but he's playoffs is a different beast.
If you wish injury on Tobias, what do you wish on Ricky Council?
No, listen. You're asking me who I trust. You're probably asking me who I trust more versus who I'd rather see play. I'd rather see Ricky out there, but if you're asking me if Ricky would mess up a play at the end of a game, like that's more likely to happen.
What
I'm not talking about the end. I'm not talking about like an end of the game situation though, where like we need a bucket to win. I'm just, like this might be the second quarter.
Oh, I'd rather see Ricky out there. Give Ricky a shot.
I'm all in on Ricky. Yeah. How about that Jeff Doughton? What did they just gave him a 2-year deal? What's the deal with him? What do you see with
he played good tonight. I mean,
but you can only say so much against Detroit right now. That team that they put out there tonight is it's
he's a third string point guard.
Diverse said Seltzer's a Magic fan anyway. Diverse, were you here when he called them his Magic?
Yeah, he's a scumbag. He's sitting up here, Sixers, this and that, and then he's talking about my Orlando Magic. You're a scumbag.
Seltzer, let me give it to you. Let me give it to you in 3 words. What I want for the Sixers in this postseason: regular season Joel. That's it. That's it. Because we might have already won a championship with Joel Embiid if he gave us regular season Joel, maybe the year when we lost to the Hawks. So that's all I want. Regular season Joel. Everything else will find a way if Joel can be the Joel he is in October and in November and in December.
Well, Al,
talk about that next week because I don't see that happening.
I don't either, but that's what I wish. You said a wish. That's my wish.
It's a wish.
Now to piggyback off of what you said earlier, well, I would say 3 syllables: post-season doc.
Yeah, well, I mean
that's what I wish, because either in the first or second round, if we face off against the Bucks, I feel like Rivers is going to find a way to screw that up for that team, with or without Giannis.
That doesn't do enough for us, though. I mean, going forward, like I want something for us. I don't care about.
Well, I'm saying if we draw the Bucks in the first round, like you were saying that your wish was earlier, if that happens,
draw them like one of your French girls.
Draw them like wearing this and wearing only this. No rings, no championship rings, unfortunately.
Diverse. He did the Embiid special tonight, crushing a shit team.
Yeah,
we'll have more talk about what we expect in the postseason next week when we have the schedule.
The guy just came back from being out for.
Here we go. The defending Embiid defender.
No, save it for next week. Come on, he can only play who's in front of him. What's he going to challenge a team?
We're going to save all that stuff for next week.
I'm still in WrestleMania mode, challenging squads.
All right, so we'll wrap it up. Any final thoughts on the Sixers end of the regular season here before
they're doing it to us again, pulling us right in.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's move on to segment 2 tonight. Somebody play. Can you play the music, Al?
Oh no, I don't have it. I got it. It's my alarm.
That was the song of my wedding that everybody walked down the aisle to before Megan came down.
There you go. You hear it?
A little bit.
Vaguely.
What is this?
It's the Masters team.
The Masters
Oh.
team.
Traditional like any other guest. We need you. Listen, we need you for your picks. Didn't you hit 2 majors last year or something like that?
Something like that. I was hot. The
All
golf
right.
god.
Golf guru.
They call me golf god.
The Masters this weekend, the first major of the calendar year 2024. The Live guys are there. The PGA Tour guys are there. We are live at Augusta, Georgia. Al, I think you wanted to start this with a 3-pack challenge. Is that
It's a
something
little
you had there?
Here's what I got for you guys. I devised the 3-pack challenge. So we're going to give our picks. We're going to give our analysis and all that good stuff. But there's often always talk about, would you take this guy or the field? And I'm never a fan of that, because if you're not talking about Alien Tiger when he literally was just winning every week or finishing in the top 3 every week, there's not a guy that you should be giving the respect to that you're taking him versus 70 other guys or potentially 120 other guys in a regular field event. So, this week leading into it, it's Scheffler. Everybody says it's Scotty or is it the field? But I don't think that's fair. So what I did is I devised a couple of 3-packs. I devised 3 packs. Let's start with Chris. And Chris, you give me a number 1, 2, or 3, and I'll give you the 3 golfers in that 3-pack. And you tell me, life or death situation, would you take the 3 golfers in that 3-pack to win this weekend at Augusta, or would you take the field? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so you're getting 3. Give me a number 1, 2, or 3.
Let's go with 1.
You're getting pack number 1. Here we were opening the pack here. There's the sound of the pack opening. So you have world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, along with Liv Darling, and a really chic pick this week, Joaquin Niemann, and former debutante that came in second, Will Zalatoris, who has returned this season from a back injury and has looked very good. And he's a guy that I believe in the 2 years he played, he had the most birdies and eagles combined in the field those 2 years. So would you take Scotty, Joaquin, and Willie Z, or would you take the field?
So it's funny. First of all, I'm totally out on Zalatoris because he always finds a way to screw it up.
Okay.
Um,
It's usually the putter. But now he's using that long stick now.
Yeah, well, maybe he needs a long stick to get these jobs done, if you know what I'm saying. Spit what I'm cooking.
Hey, now.
Pause. So I was thinking about Scheffler and Niemann in my picks for this segment already. So I'm going to say I would take the pack.
Take the pack.
Yeah, I would take the pack. I give it a shot with the number with Scotty and Niemann.
Listen, I can't blame you there. That's a hell of a threesome to ride with over the weekend. It's probably the best of the 3 packs. I'm not going to lie, but we'll find out. So, all right, Guest is going with the pack. Seltzer, that leaves packs 2 and 3. We got a wax pack here.
I'll go 3.
All right, Seltzer's going 3. We're going to open the pack. All right, the pack is now opened. Seltzer, you get our boy Rory, Jordan Spieth, and your boy Brooksy. You're getting Koepka in that pack. What are you doing here? Are you taking Rory to finish the Grand Slam finally, along with a resurgent Jordan Spieth and a guy who's always gunning for the majors, Brooks Koepka?
I'm taking the field without question here. But I wanted to address this because when we originally were talking about this topic, it was Scotty, Rahm, and Rory or the field. And my question was going to be, when are we going to just take Rory out of that trio? Because Rory hasn't won a major in 10 years, and he's never won at Augusta.
Tiger's won since Rory's won.
Tiger's won. You're right.
Phil's won.
Philly. Uncle Philly.
Jimmy Walker, Zach Johnson. All these guys have won majors.
If you throw shade at Jimmy Walker, his wife's going to come after us.
Yeah, so we've already gotten in trouble with that before. So let's just.
She's welcome. The door's open.
But
I extended the invite.
Yeah, door's open.
Look, I mean, Rory played well last week, so he seems to be going in pretty good form. But I mean, history has just shown that he's not gotten the job done at Augusta many times. Spieth last week had some interesting comments saying that he's hitting the driver, he's pissing on the driver, he's hitting the shit out of it. He has the history around Augusta. Of the three names you gave me, he's probably the one I'm the most bullish on. And we'll talk a little bit about Brooks later, but I don't think it's going to be Brooks this week. So I'm taking the field over those three guys.
All right. Yeah, I can't blame you. I would have also taken the field. I just don't think it's strong enough. I'm with you on Rory. Rory's only in there because of the name. That's it. He has no appeal to the golf fan that actually pays attention to the sport. We're well aware, and I think he has too much going on in his head these days with all the stuff, trying to be the poster boy for the tour and getting thrown under the bus. And now you got guys on the tour that are saying behind his back that he's not, they're not behind him the way he thinks they are because he's Mr. Endorsements and he doesn't need the money. So, yeah, I agree. I think Rory's out. I would have put somebody else in there. Maybe Santiago de la Fuente, the amateur guest. What do you know about Santiago?
Nothing. Mira.
Dale. All right, that leaves pack 2 for me. And I'll go ahead and I'll make this quick. Pack 2, when I open the pack, I get John Rahm, the defending champ. I get the X-Man, another sexy pick this week, Xander Schauffele. And I get another former champ, Hideki Matsuyama. And to me, I thought this was also an easy one, guys. I don't know about either of you. Seltzer, I know you're a big Rahm guy. How many majors did you say he was going to have by the end of his career? 5?
Maybe he's well on his way. He's got 2.
I think he said 5. Well on his way. I mean, who knows what's going to happen now that he's with Liv?
I'm completely fine with that prediction.
Well, I'm not taking my pack here. I'm also going to take the field. I just don't. I believe it's too hard. Basically impossible to win back-to-back at Augusta. So that takes Rahm out of it automatically for me. I also think it's very difficult just to win 2. How many guys have won twice at Augusta, let alone 2 majors? We had this discussion before, so that takes Hideki out of it. Again, I know X is a sexy pick this week. He has some of the numbers to back it up. He has 7 straight top 20 finishes in majors. He has the third most birdies and eagles at Augusta in the last 5 years. And only he and Scotty Scheffler are in the top 20 on tour in strokes gained off the tee, approach, and around the green. For the non-golf people, that means he's doing it everywhere and doing it better than everyone. So
he's doing it and doing it well.
Doing it well. That's right, LL. So he's a sexy pick. I've had money on him too many times, and I've watched him too many times choke on Sunday. And so until I can see him do it, I would not take him to win a major.
He has no balls. You got to have balls to win a major. He reminds me a lot of 2014 to 2017 Ricky Fowler. Like that's what I see in Xander Schauffele.
Yep. Great comp. And just like that iteration of Ricky, Xander's the king of being 5 strokes back or even 2 or 3 strokes back and hitting like a 30-foot par putt. That means just absolutely nothing. He does it all the time.
I mean, was it the Players Championship he was up on?
Yeah,
big time. And fell off the map on that one too. I'm not buying the Xander Schauffele push.
The love fest.
And he's played great golf this year. You're right. All the stats show that he's ready to pop, and he's performed well in majors. He just can't seem to get over that hump.
Yeah, lots of. I mean, top 10. What 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 top 10s in his career, and that's only in 5 years at the majors. I mean,
don't forget. I think Ricky Fowler was the only golfer in history to finish in the top 5 in all 4 majors in 1 year.
In 1 year, yeah. So that was a hell of a run.
Yeah, but he's never gotten over the hump.
No.
All right, so we're going to do some best bets. We're going to do some dark horses. I do want to just touch on the Liv and PGA conversation for a minute. Al, you asked the question. Would it be better?
Yeah, would it be better for a Liv guy to win or a PGA guy to win?
And my answer to that is, I don't think it matters at this point. I think the divisiveness that we saw last year, are these guys going to get to play in majors? Are they not going to get to play in majors? The rivalry. How are the Liv guys going to play in the majors? Are they going to be good? Are they going to be rusty? All that conversation kind of went away with the merger or the quote unquote, discussion that's there. And Brooks obviously winning a major kind of calmed all the issues of Liv guys being able to do it. And I just don't think, I think all the guys are there. And I think the true golf fans now are just like, I'm happy to see all these guys in one spot playing golf together, as opposed to feeling like you have to pick a side like it was last year or the year before. So I really don't think it matters whether or not a live guy or a PGA guy wins, in my opinion.
For me, the reason why I think it matters, and I'm going to say that it's more important for a live guy to win, and it's because we need something. We need something that's going to break this rift. That's with the official World Golf rankings, excuse me, and with just getting these guys to play together again. Because you have a guy like Dustin Johnson, who is currently ranked 336th in the world, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. And you might say, well, who cares? But
what is it? What's he ranked now?
336th in the
Dustin
world.
Johnson?
Well,
Because he
because
hasn't
Liv doesn't get points, so all those guys just keep falling.
Right. So they're just plummeting down the rankings, and this matters for the guys that have not won a major and are not exempt to get into the majors for the next however many years. And even the guys that have won, those exemptions run out. So we're at a point where we're going to start to not see guys like Dustin Johnson at a major because he's not accumulating any of these fugazi points. Joaquin Niemann is another great example. He's down in the 90s in the official world golf ranking. So he's on his way out as well. So you have guys that you can't call these major events. You can't say that you're truly playing the best against the best in the world and that this is the best competition when it's not. It just is not. John Rahm, he still sits at third because he's so recently joined Liv, but he's going to see that slide as well. He's going to start dropping on those rankings as well. So for me, I think it's more important for a live guy to win so we can continue that conversation of how do we get these guys back in the fold? How do we bring everyone together? Because that's at the end of the day, the golf is awful right now. It's terrible. It's in a shit spot.
Yeah, I would say too, Al, to build up there. And I'm trying to stay quiet purposely with this segment because you guys know way more than I do about golf. But as a casual fan, I couldn't care less anymore about the Liv versus PGA thing. I mean, to me, that's jumped the shark last year. That's a 2023 issue. I don't care anymore about it. I will say, Al, I do agree that when I've tried to watch a couple PGA events, to me, the star power is just not there right now. Yeah. And a lot of those guys are in Liv or they're washed up, and it doesn't really they don't have a chance to do anything or put any damage in on the leaderboard. So for me personally, as a casual and an admitted casual, I don't care about and a lot of it has to do with the merger, Al. But I will also say I'm kind of confused as to when does that all officially start to really kick in, because there's still obviously Live specific tournaments, and you just said the rankings are what they are in terms of the PGA rankings with the Live golfers not really making any not really,
they don't get points.
Right, not accumulating anything. So when does this merger officially pay dividends, so to speak, in terms of when do we really see that as a viewer or an observer? When does that really come into play officially? And what does it consist of?
There's no guarantee that it's actually going to happen. So the merger, when it was announced last summer, basically was, we're going to agree to a deal. We have to hammer out the details. And it's kind of been, pushed to the side. We hear vague updates, but they haven't actually agreed to anything formal at this point. And there's also some concern about litigation moving forward, about them even being able to merge given the entities that are involved. PGA Tour has gotten some funding from outside investors at this point, which may have been a leverage play on their part that they don't need the Saudi money. So at this point, it's still just being talked about. Talks have not officially broken down by any means, but it's kind of vague, and we don't have a ton of information.
There's a long road ahead of us. There's a long road ahead of us, Chris.
And I'll be
time soon.
And I'll be blunt, guys. I honestly, for me, especially with golf right now, and I mentioned it to you guys in our group chat before, how it's just PGA right now is just kind of whack to me. But a big part of it has to do with with this Live versus PGA thing. I feel like it's a lot of just rich white dudes fighting over who's going to make more money playing a rich white sport. Yeah. And someone like me that doesn't relate to me. So I don't really care. You know what I mean? And it's sad and it's unfortunate that's the case. but it just doesn't resonate with me.
No, and we'll bring the discussion back, but it's the PGA Tour as an entity has never been challenged like this, right? And now they're getting bullied. Imagine if this happened, like this just happened to the NCAA, and now you got kids making NIL money and the transfer portal. They didn't know what to do. They panicked. They hit the panic button, and now we see what's going on. The NCAA is barely watchable anymore. So it's just they were challenged and they fell apart the seams. I'm not taking anything away from these professionals, and I'm not saying that if the live guys were still with the PGA Tour or were able to play with the tour, that this would change the results. But guest, here are some of the names that have won events this year in the PGA Tour: Chris Kirk, Grayson Murray, Nick Dunlap, Matthew Pavon, Nick Taylor, Jake Knapp, and Austin
Nick the
Eckroat.
Toolman Taylor.
I mean,
and who was the last guy? Who was the last guy you said?
Austin Eckroat.
Yeah, you're right.
And guess what? One of those guys was a WWE jobber. He didn't even know, and I snuck him in there, guest.
Wait. You say neck throat. What'd you say? What's his name?
Austin Eckroat.
Oh, I thought you said neck throat. I was like, damn. Some redundant.
Real
Yeah, and it all that goes into play. Like we've talked about this before. The PGA just does not get the fact that they have to market these guys. I don't know any of them cats you just named.
They can't market them. These guys came out of nowhere.
And that could also be to the fact that the top echelon talent right now is not playing or is in live. So the door is wide open for success for these middle of the road guys or these bottom feeder guys to come up and bite somebody. And listen, kudos to them. That's awesome. I'm happy as hell for those guys. I don't know you, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
as a fan, as a viewer, that matters. And the PGA consistently has this arrogant mindset that you're either a golf guy or a golf woman or you're not, and we don't care to bring you back into what we're about, because if you're not in, you're never going to be in. And that's not necessarily true.
Well, guess let's talk about some guys that we do know. Let's get to the picks.
Yep. So let's start with, we have three categories. We have dark horses to win. We have winners, our actual picks. But we also have guys who are off the radar who may be able to sneak into a top 10. So these guys are way down the list. But if you're betting, they do give you the option to pick a guy who's going to go into the top 10. So let's start there, and then we'll go to dark horses, and then we'll go to final picks. So I'll open it up. I've got two guys here on my list as a top 10. One I'm actually pretty bullish on, and now we talked to Liv. I'm not hearing anything about Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed
sucks.
My man.
Patrick Reed, 5-1 odds to finish in the top 10 in this tournament. His Masters history, since he won, he finished 1st, 36th, 10th, 8th, 35th, and then 4th. So he's got 4 top 10s in the last 6 years at Augusta. We know it's a course that tends to, if you play well there, you play well there regardless. And he has some decent form. He just had a top 10 last week in Miami at Doral. So I got Patrick Reed, and I'm also going to go with Sahith Theegala.
My man.
On my thunder there. He was right there for me.
Love Sahith.
Sahith's having a good year. The issue with him last year was his driving, but he's gotten that back or been better with it this year. He's improved in that regard. And Augusta is a course where if you're going to have a weakness, it is your driver, and you can be a little wild because of the lack of rough and the pine straw. So he's 4-1 to finish in the top 10. So give me those two guys as backdoor top 10 candidates.
He had a very good Sunday last year, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he finished well last year.
He finished in like 9th or something. He snuck in there like it was a backdoor top 10. Gosh, you want to go next?
I can give it a shot. Yeah. So in terms of we're doing long shots for this round, or what are we?
This is like, did you do top 10s? Like these are like long shots, like guys that aren't going to win, but you really like, you think you play well this week.
I don't know. Is this finally the time where a guy like Max Homa can put it together at the right moment in a big spot? I got him at 60-1 on FanDuel.
To win it.
Yeah, to win it. I didn't check out I gotta check out his top 10 odds, but I'm sure they're not too high. But I could see a guy like Max sneaking in there and being there on Sunday and still being in a hunt.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I didn't like the draw. He got the Tiger draw this week.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. How about that threesome?
Yeah, who's the pause? Who's the threesome? The Tiger?
It's a threesome made for me. It's Tiger, Homa, and Jason Day. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm about to take off of school for that one.
Yeah, well, listen, the lesson.
Now listen, if there were ever any truer words spoken, all right, it was what a threesome with Tiger Woods.
Thanks. All right, now hit us with your top tens.
So my one long shot top 10, he is listed at plus 450. So you're getting 4.5 to 1. It's defending British Open champ Brian Harman. He's 20th in strokes gained total, 16th in putting. He came in 12th in 2021, and he's missed 2 cuts since. However, this year, 5 top 25s on the tour, second at the Players. So he obviously is still feeling good about himself in big tournaments, and he might be one of those guys that's becoming a little bit of a big game hunter. He's a lefty, which we know, and we know that lefties tend to play well in Augusta. It's a course made for lefties. So he still has that nice approach game, that nice around the green game, and he's 37 years old, which is right around that age where most Masters winners seem to pop out of, that mid-30s-ish range where you have the guys with experience that have been there before. So he's my top 10 guy. I actually didn't have a second one, but just looking at the board, I think Sergio Garcia is an interesting pick.
He was another one for me.
That's a top 10 guy. He's playing extremely well on the Live Tour this year. He's striking his irons well. He's hitting a lot of fairways. He's getting a lot of greens in regulation. I know that things are a little different on Live because they play these courses that are seen as not being championship caliber. But he seems to be, finding his game again. And he's a guy who obviously knows Augusta very well, has a green jacket. You're not asking me to take him to win, just sneak in a top 10. I'll take the Spaniard. All
right, sounds good. I like Sergio.
Speaking of lefties, how about the lefty? Take the lefty on there at 270 to 1 to win.
He came in second last year. He blew his load last year.
That's what I'm saying. You never know. He likes that course.
All right, let's go dark horses to win. I'll start it here. I got 2 of them here. I'll start with a guy who I really, really like and a guy who has a major under his belt a few years ago, and that's Matt Fitzpatrick. I think Matt Fitzpatrick has all the aspects to win here. He's got a good short game. He's added length. One thing we haven't talked about is the weather. They are expecting some rain on Thursday and Friday. So if that course gets soft, it's already long enough, and the short hitters may get played out. But Fitzpatrick has added length. He's got the moxie. He played really well last week. He dug himself a hole, but he played really well Saturday, Sunday down at the Valero Texas Open. So I like him. And this other guy, I talk shit on Xander, so it's really not really a great pick for me. But statistically, Tony Finau has had a hell of a year playing golf. He's played well here in the past. He was obviously in that mix the year Tiger won. If it's ever going to happen for him, this is the year because he's playing really, really good golf. It's hard for me to get behind him. Fitzpatrick 7 to 1, Tony Finau plus 750 to win.
Wait, to win? No,
those are top 5 numbers. Those are top 5.
Yeah, who'd you say? Fitzpatrick and Finau? Fitzpatrick is 40 to 1, and Finau is 40 to 1 as well.
40 to 1 on both.
Yeah. Guess who do you got? I think we have one of the same guys here.
I know we're supposed to pick one, but I was thinking about 2 guys, so I'll just mention them, just throw them out there. One is my boy, the Norwegian Nightmare, Victor Hovland. You guys know I'm a big Victor guy. He's got the talent. He's got it. Like, to me, I feel like he's got some majors in it. I don't know if he'll get them yet, but I feel like he's on the cusp. He's right there to become in that top tier echelon of guys to be able to compete for majors and actually win them and close the deal. And the other guy too is, I'll be honest, this is just on numbers. I don't know who this guy is, but he's 33 to 1 on FanDuel, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th highest. And that's that Ludwig Abeg.
Oh, the debutante.
Yeah, so I don't know the brothers. I never heard of dude, but He's ninth at 33-1. And even though he's kind of high on the list, he's not by any stretch of imagination, a household name. So he's still kind of a long shot in that regard. So maybe he does something. What do you? Any of you guys have a scouting report on Mr. Abeg?
Yeah, he was a rookie last year, a European guy. He's not a household name now, but you'll know him. He's good.
He's very
Call
good.
him Big L in the streets.
He can hit the hell
And
out.
I believe it's pronounced Aubert, isn't it?
I think so. Yes.
This is crazy.
Ludwig Borga.
Yeah, not to be confused with Ludwig Borga.
All right.
All right. Yeah, here's with some long shots, and then we'll get to our actuals here.
All right. So I'd call these more dark horses than long shots. Guess I thought you were going to say Neiman as a dark horse, unless he's just your pick. I got Neiman. Neiman has 2 wins on Live this year. He's looked dominant. Unfortunately, the Live website is dog shit, so it's tough to find stats on these guys. But among the Live guys, he's second in driving distance, 4th in greens and regulation, 10th in putting average, and he was always a very good ball striker when he was on the tour. So I like Neiman. I don't think the moment's too big for him. He's been there before. And another guy that, man, like I really didn't want to like. Not that I didn't want to like him, but like when he got his breakthrough win, it came out of nowhere. He wasn't a guy that I was ever behind before. But Seltzer, I'm starting to fall for Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, no doubt.
Starting to fall for Wyndham Clark, the reigning defending U.S. Open champion. He has a win at Pebble Beach this year. He has 2 runner-up finishes at the API and the Players, so 2 no-nonsense courses with great fields. Right now, he's 3rd on the tour in strokes gained total, 12th off the tee, 33rd in approach, and 15th in putting. Listen, I think he's another one of those guys that just he's popping at these big tournaments. So give me Wyndham Clark. He is 40-1. Neiman is 28-1. The only reservation with Clark would be he's also a debutant.
Yep. All right, let's go to our actual picks. I have my best bet, and then I have a couple of value guys. I'll go through them briefly. I'm going Scotty Scheffler. I'll take the chalk. Listen, the ball striking numbers are the next best to Tiger Woods. The best since Tiger Woods, prime Tiger Woods, and it's not that far off. It's just a matter if he's going to make putts at the end of the day for him. And when I talk about the course being wet and it becoming more of a ball strikers event, that just leans me more back towards that. At the end of the day, whether he wins or not, he's going to be there on Sunday. I can guarantee you that, and that's what you're looking for to pick. He's 4-1, so it's not great odds. My 2 longer shots, somebody mentioned Will Zalatoris earlier. I think it was Chris was hating on him. You can hate on him for finishing second at a couple majors, but to me, that's he's kind of a big game hunter. He's 40-1. He's played well here. He finished second to, I think it was Hideki, the year Hideki won. So I like him. And a Live guy that nobody's mentioned who has a great history here. I know he's not in great form, but Cam Smith is 55-1. And another guy who has a great short game, has played well here. I know his Live numbers haven't been great this year, but again, give me the guy who plays well in the course. Cam Smith, 55-1, screams value to me.
I think Cam Smith is one of those guys that just doesn't give a shit about Live. Like he just goes, he collects his check, he goes out there, plays some golf. He withdrew from the last tournament they had.
Yeah, he has stomach bug
with an illness. He might not even hate. He might have just been like, I'm done. I want to get ready for Augusta.
He was in Miami. He was a mistake.
We know what that stomach bug was.
Guys, so you're right, Al. I was going back and forth between Joaquin Neiman for my overall pick. And a guy that always seems to be right there at Augusta every year, another Live guy, but we haven't really talked about him in this segment, Brooks Koepka. I think Brooks Koepka could be right there. I mean, he's 20-1, which is on this side to win, which right now is currently 6th, highest among all the participants. So, hey, why not? I mean, he's done it before. He's been there, and he's always been one to pride himself on really being an advocate for just being successful based on muscle memory, right? Like this guy's once said that he doesn't practice all the time and this and that, which nobody buys. Golf is too hard to not practice. But with that being said, he knows the course well. He likes the course. He plays the course well. And especially is the weather going to be a factor all 4 days or just in the beginning?
Just the first couple.
Just the first couple. So I think he could be there. But overall, my those are my two top guys, Koepka and Neiman. I wouldn't mind seeing either one of them win. Neiman, especially because of the fact that, to my knowledge, has he won a major? I know he hasn't won a Masters.
No,
I don't think he's won a major. Right. So that would be a good person to see take it home. So yeah, those are my two guys.
All right, I'll wrap us up.
Seltzer, I'm not the kind of guy to ever do this, and I've never done this, and I've never put money on the guy.
Rory? You're taking Rory.
I'm taking Scotty, dude. He's just playing too well right now. There is such a gap between him and the next guy. FanDuel has him, I think you said plus 400. He's plus 450 right now.
Yeah.
He's 62 under in majors since 2020. He's first in strokes gained total and approach, and he's second off the tee. And we know that approach is king at Augusta. You got to have that approach game working at Augusta. He's 8 for 8 in cuts made this season. 7 of them are top 10s. 2 of them are wins at the Players and the API. And you talked about his putting, but it's coming around. He led the field in strokes gained putting in the final round of the Arnold Palmer. So if he can have even just a mediocre putting day, he's going to run away with it. I mean, he is just clearly on another level. However, one thing, baby alert. You know about this, right? His wife Meredith is pregnant with their first child. They're due at the end of the month, but he did say, he's on record of saying, if she goes into labor, he's withdrawing.
And even if she doesn't, it's up here.
Yeah,
it's also a mental game.
Listen, I think a guy like him, he's going to be dialed in, and I think that she seems like a down to earth kind of woman, just from what I've seen in the Full Swing documentary, where she doesn't seem like the kind of woman that would be in his ear chirping, like, oh, Scotty, I'm a little uncomfortable today. She's probably going to take a step back. I'm hoping, because this is the biggest tournament of the year.
Yeah. How often, guys? I mean, you guys know better than I do. How often? The only reason I didn't pick Scheffler is because he is the odds-on favorite. How often does an odds-on favorite win in golf?
I don't think there's a ton of correlation.
It's extremely rare at the Masters.
That's why. That's the one reason. He's probably the best guy in the field. In fact, he is the best guy in the field.
Yeah.
But because of that specifically, that's why I'm not going near that. But I understand why somebody would.
Yeah. One more. I know I didn't mention him in the dark horses, but I'll take DJ at 45-1. Dustin Johnson has a win on Live. I think it's just a great value for him, for a guy that can shape the ball both ways. He has a green jacket. He's become a little bit of a forgotten star. He's still one of the best in the world, if you ask me. I mean, if you're going to ask me to name 15 golfers better than Dustin Johnson, I don't know that I can.
Yeah, that's fair. I think DJ's kind of checked out a little bit, so I'm not going there. But those are our picks, and all that entire segment, and not one person mentions the defending champ John Rahm. So,
I mean, I love John Rahm.
Yeah,
I
me
can
too.
easily see him being there, but
we gave him a little shout out in the beginning, but
All right. So we'll see what happens this week at Augusta. But now we're gonna get to segment 3. We saw Al and Chris collide last week in Sports Jeopardy. Chris got the beat down so bad that he's demanded some different action this week. So Al has put together a game of his own, and Chris and I will battle, and something like name the athlete. Is that a apropos name?
Yeah, something like that, right? Almost like a 21 question style game. The way it's going to work, I need you gentlemen to have your phones ready, because what we'll be doing is I'll be texting you the name of an athlete, or actually, I guess I want to do this. I'll just have the name, and you'll take turns.
I was say you just
No. I have this right. I'll text you the name. Okay. So let's say Seltzer is first to ask the questions. Guest is going to have the athlete's name. So just for the sake of argument, let's just say it's Joel Embiid. Adam has to ask yes or no questions to get to that athlete. So you might ask, is this an NBA player? Is this an NFL player? And Guest is going to give the yes or no's. Adam has to get the athlete within 1 minute. And every time you get the athlete within 1 minute, you get a point. I'm going to double the points if you get the athlete within 30 seconds.
Why can't you just answer the questions? Why do you have to text us the guy's name?
I don't really know. I thought there was like a reason for that. I'm not really sure.
I was about to say the same thing. Why do we have to know?
Maybe to get you both involved was the answer, but I guess I'll just be the ringmaster here.
Yeah, that way
why not?
I'll just
Yeah.
be the guy. So do you guys want to run a practice round or you just want to get right at it?
Let's dig in.
All right.
I'll stretch,
all right,
cuz.
since Adam went through the work of putting the Jeopardy game together last week, Adam, I'll give you the option of going first or second here.
I'll go second. I want to see how it plays itself out here.
All right. So I don't have categories for everyone, but I did some categories just for the first couple of rounds to get our feet wet and to get us used to the game. Okay. So, you know what? I know why I wanted you guys to answer the questions because some of these guys I probably don't have all the answers for, but I'm going to do my best. So, guess the clock is going to start, and you're going to just ask yes or no questions to get to the person. The first category is notable Philly athletes.
So this is it's like guess who?
Yeah, you're just yes or no questions, and you fire away as fast as you can. And when you have a guess, just throw the guess out there, and
it's just one. It's one guy, right?
It's one guy. One
notable
guy.
Philly
Now, these are notable Philly athletes, so these are going to be the cream of the crop. All right. So guess whenever you're ready, fire that first question. I'll keep an eye on the time.
All right. Is it a basketball player?
Yes.
Is it a basketball player within the last 20 years?
Yes.
Is it a starting basketball player on the Sixers?
Yes.
Is it someone that was a guard?
Yes.
Is it an all-star?
Yes.
Is it someone that's a multiple-time all-star?
Yes. You can just say who it is.
Is it Allen Iverson?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you got it within 30 seconds, which is why I'm trying to help you out there. So you get 2 points.
Okay.
All
That's
right?
the best I've done already on one of these trivia games.
Yeah.
All right, so Adam, you're up. It's the same category. It's notable Philadelphia athletes. The timer starts when you ask your first question.
Is it a football player?
No.
Is it a baseball player?
Yes.
Was he on the 2008 World Series team?
Yes.
Did he play first base?
No.
Second base?
Yes.
Is it Chase Utley?
It's Chase Utley.
Yeah, that's how you do it. So wait, can we guess if once we guess the player once, it's done if we get it wrong?
You know what? I was gonna say no to that because some of these guys, it's gonna get harder.
Okay.
And if I'm the ringmaster, there's gonna be some answers. There's gonna be some questions where I say I don't know. So
Okay.
it's gonna.
But after the timer, you only get one more guess.
Correct.
After that's fine.
See, I think it makes it even more fun if we did just only have one guess. But
Yeah.
we'll play. Well, we'll play how you want to play it.
Yeah,
We'll play.
well, because again, some of these guys, I'm probably gonna not know, so I'm gonna get
They're
some.
going to get harder, right? Those were easy.
Yeah, those were easy.
Okay.
All right. That was
All
just
right,
a little
so-
warm up.
We're moving on to round 2. These are not as notable Philly athletes. All right, guess you're up. The time starts when you ask your
We
first
can
question.
anybody. All right. Is it someone that was a starter?
Yes,
Is it someone that was a?
yes, he was.
Is it an Eagle?
Yes,
All right. Is it someone on the offensive line?
no,
Is it someone on the defensive line?
no,
Is it someone that was on offense?
yes,
Is it somebody that was a Pro Bowler? Ever?
yes,
All right. Is it somebody that went to the Super Bowl?
no.
This is harder than I thought it was.
30 seconds are up.
Is it somebody who was in the last 10 years?
No,
20 years?
no,
30 years?
yes,
All right. Is it oh man.
go
Is
through
it-
positions, anything.
Is it
5
Fred
seconds.
Is it Fred Barnett?
No,
Is it Randall Cunningham?
no.
Is it
Time's up.
One more guess.
Ricky Waters?
It was Irving Fryer.
Okay. Irving Fryer.
Nope.
Man, remember that catch he made in the Meadowlands, that one-handed catch in like 98? That catch was ridiculous. There were two guys, he reached up, grabbed it.
I remember the game he had 4 touchdowns. I don't remember the one-handed catch.
He had a sick one-handed catch one game against the Giants.
He was very good for us.
He was a good pro. He was a good pro. I saw him. I was on the bus coming from Temple one time on the 9 bus, and I saw him walking down the street in a suit with some lady, probably doing whatever he was doing as far as his business is concerned. But big dude. Obviously. But.
All right, Seltzer, whenever you're ready, we're still in not as notable Philly athletes, and the time will start when you ask your first question.
Is it a flyer?
Yes.
Did he play offense?
Yes.
Play in the 90s?
Yes.
Was he on the Legion of Doom?
Yes.
Oh,
Is it Michael Remberg?
Yes. Do you have access to my notes?
No, I'm
Wait a
just
minute.
kidding.
What kind of question is that for a hockey player? Does he play offense?
What
Do they all play offense at some point?
Offense, defense, or goalie?
Well, oh, man, come on.
Seltzer takes a 2-point lead, guest.
Don't be mad.
Even a defenseman play offense at some point.
Well, I mean, is the offensive position? That'd be like saying a cornerback plays offense when they get to the interception.
Guest, here's what I'm going to do for you for this round. This is Jobber Philly athletes. I'm going to let you pick. Do you want athlete number 1 or athlete number 2?
Let's go with number 2.
All right, here you go. You're going to get athlete number 2. Ask your question. The time will start.
See, I'm gonna do like how they do in basketball, where they're not gonna pick the basketball up, so the clock doesn't start yet.
Walk the dog here.
All right, Jobber Philadelphia athletes. Is it somebody on the Sixers?
No.
Is it somebody on the Eagles?
Yes.
Is it someone within the last 10 years?
No.
Is it an offensive player?
No.
All right. Is it a defensive player?
Yes.
Is it someone within the last 20 years?
Yes.
Is it a starter?
Yes.
Are they jobber because they're like random name, or because did they make it a Pro Bowl at all?
I can't answer that. Yes or no. No. No Pro Bowl.
All right. The defensive line.
Yes.
In the last 20 years, defensive line job is it Paul Gressmanis?
No.
Are they a tackle?
No.
Are they an end?
Yes.
Is
10
it
seconds.
oh man, 20 years, 20 is it Jason Babin?
No.
Are they Caucasian?
Time is up. No. Time is up. Give me one final guess.
They're an end jobber the last few years. Trent Cole? No, Trent Cole's not a jobber. That's disrespectful on my part. I apologize. Trent Cole's not a jobber. I don't know.
You're all flustered. He gets it. If Trent's listening, you get it, Trent.
Yeah, my fault, Trent.
He's under fire. Seltzer, I won't give you any points, but do you have a guess?
I'll be honest. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Guess. So the one question I think might have thrown you off. Last 20 years, yes, but he actually was like a little bit before that.
Hugh Douglas.
No. So 01 to like 05 was really his Eagles run.
The defensive end?
Yeah.
01 to
Burgess, Derek Burgess?
No.
That's a good guess. Dude, I
That's Andy Kalu?
Andy Kalu.
You know what? That's funny. I went to school at Temple with his I think it was his cousin DK.
DK Kalu.
DK was a cool dude. He was a nice guy. But no, okay. Yeah, that's a good pull, man. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yes, you're down 2, and Seltzer gets athlete 1. Seltzer, fire away.
Well, before we start, hold on. Can I, after he's done, can I steal it for points?
No, I said I didn't give Seltzer the opportunity to steal. I said no steals.
All right, okay.
Okay. Is it a Sixer?
No.
Is it a Philly?
Yes.
Is it a pitcher?
No.
Is it an outfielder?
No.
Is it a catcher?
Yes.
Did he play in the 90s?
Yes.
Is it Todd Pratt?
It's Todd Pratt.
Oh,
man, come on.
Come on.
Go.
I'm getting Andy Kalu. He's getting Todd Pratt.
Todd Pratt.
There's 53 guys on a football team.
Todd Pratt, baby.
Jesus.
You had the choice. You picked.
I
two.
know.
All right. Now, the rest of these are national names. And we're going to start with probably these are the most well-known. And it's going to dwindle down from there the longer we do this segment. So, yes, I'll give you the option again to pick athlete 1 or athlete 2.
Let's go with 2 again.
All right. Athlete 2. Let me just pull up just in case I need to cross-reference something here. All right, guest. You can start asking whenever you're ready.
You said they're national, right?
This is a national player now, yeah.
All right. Are they a football player?
Yes.
Did they play in the NFC?
No.
All right. Did they play in the AFC East?
Yes.
Are they a Pro Bowler?
Yes.
Are they a quarterback?
No.
Do they play defense?
No.
Do they play on the Patriots?
No.
Did they play on the Jets?
Yes.
Was it within the last 10 years?
No.
20 years?
Yes.
Is it Keyshawn Johnson?
He's not a running back.
I didn't say running back.
Oh shit, no.
Is it no, I don't even. All right, so a guy on the Jets that was a running back. Is it
5
shoot.
seconds.
Come on, man.
Lamont Jordan?
No. Time's up. What do you got?
God.
You got a guess?
Oh, it's me or Seltzer's guess?
Yeah, you.
You get the guess.
Oh,
You go-
Yes.
Dude, LaDainian Tomlinson?
You got it. I was going to say you screwed yourself by going for the Jets.
Oh, wow. I thought it was Curtis Martin.
Yeah, it was Tomlinson.
There you go. Well,
That's a
Martin
great
would have been
call.
longer than 20 years, right? Martin played in the early part of the.
He was in the
90s.
early 2000s.
That's a great poll guess. Well done.
So I
All
get
right,
the points
so-
for that, or am I just get the
You get a
flowers?
point. You get a
All
point.
right.
6-3.
All
All
right.
right. All right, Seltzer. Whenever you're ready.
Here comes the
All
comeback.
right. Is it a baseball player?
Yes.
Is he active?
No.
Does he play in the National League?
Yes.
NL West?
Yes.
Giants?
Yes.
Barry Bonds?
You have access to my notes.
Oh, let's
Yeah,
go.
You have access to my
I
notes.
live in your brain, dude. I live in your brain.
Guess. I don't know what to say about this.
Barry
My
Bonds.
brain just works quick, man.
Oh,
All right, guess. What do you want? You want athlete number 1 or athlete number 2?
same category.
It's still known, guys. Yeah.
All right. Let's go 1 this time.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
That's-
Whenever you're ready.
All right, that means it's probably a hockey player.
You ready?
Is it a
Is
hockey
that your
player?
question? Yes.
Yeah. See. Is it Alex Ovechkin?
Am I this predictable? No.
Is it somebody that played within the last 5 years?
Yeah. No.
Is it someone that's played within the last 10 years?
Yes.
Is it a defenseman?
No.
Is it a guy that scored a lot of goals?
Yes.
Is it somebody who played? Were they a Ranger?
Yes.
You'd think I would know where I was going with that, but I don't. Were they? Oh, you don't know. All right, so they're a Ranger. They scored a lot of goals. Is it? It's not someone that still plays, right?
5 seconds. No. Time's up. I need a guess. You're
On the Rangers, scores a lot of goals. Pablo Bure? I don't know.
No, you're doing yourself a disservice too with asking about the team because this guy played for many teams.
Yeah.
So you're probably now narrowing it down to who played for the Rangers.
Yeah,
but
I don't even know if
wrong.
I don't even know
wrong
if Bure even played for the Rangers. That's
Yeah, Seltzer. If you get this one, we're dropping that beat.
Lindros?
No, it's Jaromir Jagr.
Oh my God, I was thinking about him, but I didn't know if he played. God dang it!
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah,
But I
it
had
throws
him
you
in my
off.
mind. He's
Yep.
still. I think he's still. I'll tell you guys all fair a story I heard about Jagr.
All right, Seltzer, here you go.
All right.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Is it basketball?
Yes.
Is he active?
This must be why I suck at poker. No.
Is it did he play in the Western Conference?
Yes.
Was that the main part of his career?
No.
Okay. Does he play in the East, the Atlantic Division, Sixers Division? Main.
Yes.
I'm asking, is he a guard?
No.
Center?
No.
Forward?
Yes.
Between 2000 and 2010?
Yes.
Is it Vince Carter?
No.
He played for Toronto?
No.
Did he play for the Nets?
No.
Play for the Celtics,
No.
Sixers.
No.
Did you forget? Did you say that division? Did you say that's division or no?
Yeah. No. Did I say no? I should have said no if I did not say
I
no.
might not have been listening.
No, you
Okay,
said no, Al. You said no.
Is it the Southeast Division with the Heat
Yeah.
and the Hawks?
Yes. 2 seconds. 1 second. Shit. All right. No, nothing. No time left. What do you
Okay.
got?
Is it Tracy McGrady?
No.
Okay.
Guess. Do you have a guess?
No, I don't.
It was Grant Hill.
Mm.
All right. So Seltzer finally
Yeah.
playing possum here.
I didn't ask good questions there.
All right, guest. You're how many more of these do you want to do so I know if I should get to certain names or not?
I'm into whenever.
Let's do three more rounds.
How many?
3 more rounds.
Three
each.
more. All right. Guess what do you got? Who do you want? What do you want?
Some people were like, keep that and checked out the box.
Yeah, they're out. The verse has been out ever since when the Masters song started barely playing.
All right, it's the same same group, same category.
Yeah, but now we're starting to get a little less famous. Like we're still known guys, but these aren't like the Barry Bonds and the Yamir Yagers anymore.
Right. Let's go number 1.
All right, number 1. Whenever you're ready, you may begin.
All right, is it a baseball player?
No.
Is it a football player?
Yes.
Is it an offensive tackle?
No.
Is it an offensive guard?
No.
Is it an offensive player?
Yes.
Are they from the last 20 years?
Yes.
10 years?
No.
Are they all right, so between 10 20 years. Are they a Pro Bowl player?
Yes.
Did they play? I might have asked this already. Did they play in the NFC?
Yes.
Are they a receiver?
No.
Are they a running back?
No.
Are they a tight end?
No.
Is it a quarterback?
Yes.
Quarterback in the NFC. That's is it someone that played in the NFC East?
Yes.
Is it Robert Griffin III?
No. 1 second. Time's up. Your questions are really bad, dude. You just don't narrow it down enough and fast enough. You got to go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Bang, 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 bang.
There's no way you're going to get this. There's no way.
Were they a starting quarterback?
Yes.
Between 15 and 20 years ago in the NFC. So that's putting us to what, 2009 to 2004 or 4 to 9, I should say.
Right.
Oh man.
Those are the exact 5 years this quarterback played in the NFC as well.
I don't know, but I know you're gonna probably try to get your boy Quincy Carter in here somewhere.
It's not Quincy Carter.
It's his other boy, Aaron Brooks.
No, it's my other boy, Mark Brunell.
Oh, that's not your boy.
I love Mark Brunell. I was a big Brunell guy. I love those Jaguars.
What team was he on from 04 to 09?
The Redskins, and then he was on the Saints.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, okay. All right.
He was he came in 3rd for comeback player of the year his 2nd year in Washington.
Oh my God.
Down year for that award.
Yeah.
All right, Seltzer, you're up.
All right. Is it a baseball player?
Yes.
Did he play in the 90s?
No.
Is he black?
No.
Is he white?
Yes.
You said no for the 90s.
Right.
Did he play in the National League for his main team?
Oh, no.
Did he play infield?
No.
Outfield?
No.
Pitcher?
Yes.
Starting pitcher?
Yes.
Did he wear glasses?
No.
Righty or lefty? Was he a righty?
No.
Was he 6'10"?
No.
Did he pitch for the Braves?
No.
Did he pitch for a World Series? Did he win a World Series?
No, I don't think. Maybe. I'll give you one more question. Time is up. I'll give you one more One
He
more
may or
question.
may not have played in a World Series and won a ring. We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to
White
that.
lefty. Did he pitch? You said he pitched in the 90s. Did he pitch in 2005?
No, I say he did not pitch in the 90s. He
Okay.
pitched in 2005. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't help me now. All right, lefty, National League, white.
I'm sorry. He won a World Series. He has a World Series.
Is it John Lester?
It's not John Lester.
He was American League mostly.
All I got from that was a white lefty dude from 2005.
It fits the bill though. That's like right when he was like almost at his peak.
And was he an all-star?
Yeah. Cy Young as well.
Ooh.
Was it one of the Marlins guys?
No.
Cy Young.
Oh, I don't know.
You want one more seltzer?
No. Who is it?
Barry Zito.
Yeah. I think of him. I think of Oakland when I think Barry's.
Yeah, same. You want the Giants, Al? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I said no though when you said main team. I just paused.
Yeah, main team is a bad question.
Yeah. All right. 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Then this one. This is a harder game than I thought it was going to be. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the Philly ones were easier because you can narrow it down.
But I like it though. I'm in.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'll give you a category. This is going to be athletes named Chris.
All right,
Chris,
there we go.
Chris, do you want 1 or 2?
1.
All right. This is a good one for you, I think.
Did he play on the hill? Is he on this podcast?
Is it VI? All right, guys. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Is he a football player?
Yes. Why does that take you so long to ask?
Did he play for the Eagles?
No.
Is he a Pro Bowl player?
No.
Did he play the last 10 years?
No.
Is he in the NFC?
No.
All right. 20 years.
Not really. No.
30 years.
Yes.
Was he a offensive player?
Yes.
Was he a quarterback?
No.
Was he a running back?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I wait.
I knew who it was after like 2 guesses.
6 seconds.
Who's a Chris that was?
Ask questions. Do you suck at this game?
Dude, I'm thinking out loud. Shut up.
Time is up. Time is up. You wasted 20 seconds.
Dude, I'm thinking out loud. What are we gonna do?
If you don't get this, that's a bust guest.
A running back in the last 30 years named Chris. I'm going blank, yo. I'm embarrassed. Like Nab said.
You got nothing? No answer?
Chris. First thing I was thinking was Chris T. Jones. They're going to go with a Jobber Eagle.
It's not Chris T. Jones. What if I told you he's a Steeler?
Yeah. Come on, man. I knew after 2 questions.
Dude, I had no idea.
You got to know your audience. About that Chris Tuamatama follow.
Oh, I would have never got that.
What?
No, I wouldn't.
You're a big Chris Fumatuma fan. You said his whole name like it's like middle name.
Chris Fatuma Fala. That's tough. Like Albert Iguana.
Oh yeah. Do we boo him or whatever?
Yeah. Do we boo him or not?
All right.
No, I wouldn't have got that.
All right, Seltzer, go ahead. You're up.
Is it athlete's named Chris or athlete's named Adam?
It's athlete's named Chris.
Okay.
Everybody hates Chris.
Is it a basketball player?
No.
Is it a baseball player?
No.
Hockey player?
No.
Football player?
Yes.
Played offense?
Yes.
Wide receiver?
Yep.
If it's Chrissy Jones, I'm logging off.
Was his team? Did the team wear red? That's a bad question.
No.
White?
Yeah. Who? When they were
Is he white? Is he white?
Oh no.
Is he a possession receiver?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Did he win a Super Bowl?
He did not.
Did he play with Brady or Manning?
No, to both.
Did he play with
10 seconds.
he played in 2000 to 2010?
Yeah.
Does his last name start with a consonant?
Time is up. Yes.
Okay, what's wrong with that question? Chris.
Does he like fruit? I don't know. This is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Chris Carter.
Not Chris Carter. Chris, guess. You have a guess?
No.
What if I told you he was a Miami Dolphin?
Chris Chambers.
Chris
Yeah,
Chambers.
I wasn't going with that.
Chris
I wouldn't
Chambers.
have got that either. Yeah.
All right, last round.
Wisconsin Chambers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess I'll let you choose. This round, the category will be related to somehow, not related to real life, obviously, but you would think of me or Diversa. You would think of me or Diversa.
All right. I'll go with number 1.
All right. Guess you got all right. You got number 1. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right. Did you have their jersey?
No.
Did Diversa have their jersey?
I don't think so, even though we wanted him to have it.
Is he a football player?
No.
Is he a basketball player?
Yes.
Was he a center?
Yes.
Is it was it Greg Ostertag?
No.
Was it Will Perdue?
No.
Was it who's another?
Come on, dude.
I know who it is. I can't think of it. I remember this. Was it Matt Geiger?
No.
Oh my God.
You're blowing it.
I know the pressure spot. I can't take it.
It's hard to come up with questions.
Were they on the Sixers?
No. 5 seconds.
Were they in the Eastern Conference?
No.
That's what I thought. It's oh my God. Why can't I think about? Is it the late Eric Montross? I don't know.
No. Do you have a guess, Seltzer?
Is it Rasha Nesterovich?
No.
Wow, I forgot about that.
No.
Oh, wait. Is it Memento Core?
No.
No.
Come on,
Who
man.
is
What if I gave you the hint? Expansion team.
Oh, Big
Big
Country.
Country, Brian
Yeah.
Reeves. Come on.
Damn. Come on, bro. You know that.
The bust.
That is the bust.
It's so much harder than you think.
I imagine it probably is.
Sleep deprivation is kicking in, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so this will be the last one. This is just for shits and giggles. Seltzer's already wrapped up the victory. Whenever you're ready, you can start asking questions.
Okay. Is this an Al guy?
Yeah.
Does he play football?
No.
Play basketball?
Yeah.
Guard?
No.
Center?
No.
Forward?
Yes. Not many centers are Al guys.
Is it a
No.
Clipper?
Yes.
Oh, I
Darius
remember.
Miles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I remember that.
Darius Miles.
Big
Too
big.
rich.
Big Darius Miles guy you are.
All right. Well, that was a 2
You
point.
and Borner were rocking Clippers jerseys together.
Drop that beat.
The headbands and all that.
We'll be back. Quick update. The Heat pulled it out in double overtime, but the Magic did lose. So we have some hope there.
Oh, now they're the Magic. They're not your Magic anymore. They lost the game.
Oh, magic.
Let's drop that beat.